Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, Graham Cliff's been expanding all evening as far as I can see, and it's unlikely to change now. I'd like to thank you all very much for inviting me to my first Christmas dinner of the season, and it's a joy to see what a well-supported affair this is. Indeed, if I ever invent a truss, I will call it the Old Almondbury Truss. Dave Bush is the pride of place on the table this evening, and sitting where I have been, I've noticed a procession of pretty ladies, every one of them arriving up and giving him a kiss. Must have been 10 or 20 of them. If Ofsted knew that late homework ran to 10 or 15 years at this school, I doubt if the headmaster would have got off so well. Jack Taylor tells me that he remembers Graham Cliff as a snot-nosed mascot of the YMCA football team. So things don't change very much, do they? I hear Jeff Heed is here tonight. I had a chat with him earlier. He was telling me that there'd been a burglary at the club, and that the police had turned up, knocked him up at 3 in the morning and asked him to come down to secure the premises. And they asked him if any cups had been stolen. He said, no, nobody got into the canteen at all. It was a bit unkind of Jack Taylor to make such unkind remarks about lawyers. Because I can disclose now, for the first time, that I defended him earlier this year on a charge of indecent exposure. Fortunately, I was able to gain an acquittal based upon the lack of evidence. One way to judge a school is by looking at the product of that school. I'm told tonight that there are 15 doctors in the audience, and that there are 12 dentists. I'm told that there are 4 clergymen. If there are any accountants here, would they stand up, please? Come on, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Headmaster thinks they're worse than I thought. I gather the new internet table is to have a special barring program on it so that only adults can access it, and that was insisted upon by the staff. If there's a flood of Japanese kiddie porn into Huddersfield in the next few weeks, we'll know where it's come from. Well, I'm a barrister in Leeds. If you look up barristers in the dictionary, you'll find them halfway between bankruptcy and bastardy. People ask me, how can I defend people if I know they're guilty? The answer to that is, I've got principles. And if you don't like these, I've got some more. I normally say, not many of you will have been to court, but bearing in mind that this is the Old Almondburians Society, those of you who haven't been to court will arrive upon the scene. You'll see one barrister reading his brief. That's the defence. You see another barrister, the prosecution. He hasn't got his yet. You'll see the dock officer. He's normally reading the A to Z guide of West Yorkshire. That's the Group 4 man looking to see where the prisoners have all gone. Eventually a police officer will come in to give evidence, and those of you who don't know, when they take the oath, it's the higher the book, the bigger the whopper. Then there's the judge, the salaried tyrant. Couldn't get a real job. I used to come to Huddersfield when the Crown Court was open here and appear before His Honour Judge Pickles, a tyrant indeed. He once said to a client of mine, "Stand up, Millington, you wicked, evil, greedy man." And that was just for starters. My stock in trade is advocacy. It's not as easy a job as one might think. Not for me anyway, now you've heard me. You have to put difficult propositions to people. You have to pry into their innermost secrets. And you have to expose the truth no matter what the cost. And the secret to that is sincerity. Once you can fake that, it's a piece of piss. Having said that, there are a number of pitfalls which can occur to the advocate. Reading the papers carefully is an important one. I once rose to cross-examine a doctor giving evidence, and I said, "Are you Dr. Singh Mudapus?" And he said, "No, my name is Singh and my qualifications are MD DPS." There's always the problem of asking one question too many. There's the barrister asking the police sergeant how he crept up upon the defendant who was picking a lock. Questions went as follows. How far away was the defendant when you first saw him? About 100 yards. You're a big man, Sergeant. How tall are you? I'm 6'12", sir. And I bet you've got big boots, haven't you? Yes, sir, they're size 15. And are they standard hobnail police issue? Yes, sir, they are. And then here comes one question too many. Then how was it, Sergeant, that you were able to cross 100 yards of open ground and arrest my client before he saw you or heard you? I was on my bicycle, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't propose to trespass on your goodwill for too much longer. But rugby players were mentioned earlier, and I propose to tell you now a joke about Will Carling, who observed in the showers one day that Victor Obugu was very well endowed. And Will said to him, "Victor, I can't help but notice that you're very well endowed. How's that?" And Victor said, "Well, every night when I go home, when I go up to bed, I get my willy out, and I bang it on the banister posts as I go up the stairs. And it goes lubbity-dubbity-dubbity-dub. And as a result, now I'm very well endowed." So Will Carling tried it that night. He got home from the palace. And he went upstairs, lubbity-dubbity-dubbity-dub. And his wife cried out, "Victor, is that you? You'll be home soon." I noticed that your school was founded by King James. And there was a legend I'd heard, which, until I came to Huddersfield and met Graham Cliff, I didn't believe. And this explains why Yorkshiremen are so mean. It's simply this, that when King James VI of Scotland submitted his CV and got the job as King of England, he marched south with all his court, but he stopped at Almondbury, and he cast out there all those who were deemed too mean to continue further south. And so here we are. You know? If you don't laugh now, I'm going to carry on. It's my great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to propose the health of the Old Almondburians Society. Would you please raise and stand your glasses? Charge your glasses. The Old Almondburians Society.